It's the Happy Families Podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
It's Father's Day this coming Sunday in Australia, and, well, I'm excited about it. I love Father's Day. I love it when the kids come and climb into bed and give me hugs and wrestle me and push me out of the bed. Father's Day is a day where, hopefully, if your family is doing well, you can really celebrate the dads in your life. And you know what Dad always says when you say, what do you want for Father's Day? He always says,
nothing.
Don't want anything. I just want to have some nice quality time with the kids, nice feed or two, and that'll be about it. Let's keep it low key. Let's keep it relaxed. That's a hint, by the way, a big hint from me. Today in the Happy Families podcast, it's a two-parter. Part one, we're going to look at the history of dad jokes, and Kylie and I have a little bet going. The bet is that I'll be able to make Kylie laugh more than she'll be able to make me laugh with 3 of the very best dad jokes that we've been able to either recall from our growing up or that we've been able to find as we've scoured the internet. Incidentally, Kylie, did your dad have a classic dad joke that you used to hear over and over again?
No, I don't think my dad was ever into dad jokes.
Well, I have a few. I got them from my dad and I've passed them down to our children, and I'm hoping that they will pass them to their children. My favourite one, driving along the road, honk the horn. The kids say, "Why'd you honk, Dad?" And I say, "Saw a cow say, kiddo." To which they reply,
"What's a cow say?"
And I laughingly respond, "Moo." I've been doing it for 25 years with our kids, but my dad, from the time I was a kiddo, that was the joke. And the other classic dad one is, "Hey, Dad, I'm hungry." To which Dad replies,
"You don't look hungry."
I can't believe you said that. That's not what Dad said. See, this is why you're a mum, not a dad.
Yeah.
Every dad who has a child who says, "Dad, I'm hungry," or "Dad, I'm bored," Dad looks at the kiddo and says,
"Hi, hungry. I'm Dad."
I can't believe that you missed that one. This is going to be a long podcast.
So dumb.
Okay, so part one, we're going to talk about the history of dad jokes. Part two, we're going to talk about creating connection with your kids if you're a dad, or you know what, just creating connection with your kids, but especially in light of Father's Day. So would you like to know, Kylie, the history of dad jokes?
Whether I do or not, I'm going to find out.
So dad jokes have been around. I mean, a dad joke is just a play on words. It's a pun. It's cheesy. It's intentionally meant to transgress or violate some sort of language convention, but it's also really safe. And it just shows that dad's got some humor, or whoever's doing the dad joke has got that little bit of humor. The classic joke, which is not really a dad joke, but the classic joke, "Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side?" Guess what year that was first published?
Well, it was well and truly around when I was a little girl.
Oh, well and truly, yeah.
So I'm going to say the 1950s.
1847.
What?
Yeah. I mean, the history of jokes is fascinating. But over time, dad jokes have become increasingly popularized, especially into the 1900s. In the 20th century, dad jokes went from, they weren't just corny punchlines. They actually became cultural currency. And this idea of building puns and one-liners into predictable jokes, like, that's the point. The point of dad joke is connection, not complexity. The whole idea of humor is to draw people towards us. And then in the 1980s, the dad joke became a thing. It became a badge of uncoolness. But here's the twist. The uncool became unstoppable. And now, if you fast forward to today, dad jokes are literally a cultural phenomenon. They're memes, they're merchandise, they're the glue that binds generations. Why? Because in a world that's obsessed with being edgy, dad jokes are just this beautiful welcome dose of wholesome, predictable humor. It's the comedy equivalent of comfort food, and we cannot get enough. So that is my very brief history of dad jokes after doing...
I know you say we can't get enough, but I definitely had my fair share.
You're so funny. Where is your sense of humor? Okay, 3 dad jokes each. 3 dad jokes each. You go first. The whole object is to get me to laugh. You go, then me, then you, then me.
Okay.
I'm ready. You're laughing and you haven't even given me one yet. Let's hear it.
What do you call cheese that isn't yours?
I don't know.
Nacho cheese.
Nacho cheese. That was That was really bad. But your delivery got a really big smile out of me.
You're harsh.
You want to hear my one?
No, not really, but go.
I'm reading a book about anti-gravity. It's impossible to put down. You're trying to hold it in. I can tell by the look on your face. Okay, go again.
Okay. What do you call a person who never farts in public?
I can't believe you're asking me a question like this. What do you call a person who never farts? I'm laughing already and I haven't even heard the answer.
A private tutor? A private tutor?
A private tutor. Yeah, the question was funnier than the answer. I think you have to have an American accent for that one. Not working for me. I told my wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high. She looked surprised.
You're so bad.
That's so good. All right, come on. Last one.
Last one?
Yep.
Why was the
Last
sand
one.
wet?
You sound like you want to keep this going all of a sudden.
Why was the sand wet?
Because the seaweed. Yeah, I remember that one from when I was about 8.
I'd never heard that one.
Okay,
well, I have to have another one because you already knew that one.
No.
Why did the scarecrow win an award? Because
it was outstanding in its field. All right, last one. Last one. I'm afraid for the calendar. Its days are numbered.
Boom, boom.
Oh, gosh. Oh, gee. You literally cannot laugh at any of my jokes. I think they're so funny. What about our ceiling? Do you like our ceiling? I mean, I'm not saying it's the best in the world, but it sure is up there. Did you hear about the cheese that went to the gym?
I'm so
It
glad
got shredded?
You kept your day job, my honey.
All right, after the break, we're going to talk about how you can build connection with your kids this Father's Day. All right, Kylie, the dad jokes were a dismal failure, at least on my part. I thought I picked some really good ones. I really liked my dad jokes. You didn't like them at all. Did you hear about the kidnapping at school?
What kind of dogs come from the bathroom?
We're supposed to be talking about other stuff here.
Poodles.
Poodle. Oh, that's gross. Did you hear about the kidnapping at school? It was okay. He woke up. You're laughing at that one. You like that one.
No, I'm not laughing at yours. I'm laughing at mine. I'm reading.
All right, so stop reading. We're doing a podcast here. We need to talk about building connection. We need to talk about building connection with kids. I'm going to go over a couple of things real quick. You can add some color where you want. We're going to wrap this one up nice and quickly because we talk about connection all the time. First of all, definition. Connection means feeling seen, heard, and valued. Okay, that's what we're looking for. How do you build a relationship that feels connective, that is, that feels like you and your children are both feeling seen, heard, and valued in that relationship? Kids spell love T.I.M.E. Quality time together. That is it. Playing sports, going for hikes, playing board games around the table or card games around the table, cooking together, watching a movie and talking about it afterwards, playing push dad off the bed, which is what the kids have really started to enjoy with me lately. When we used to play it years ago and then phones got in the way and we've gotten rid of phones and all of a sudden things are so much better. Quality time. Quality time. T.I.M.E. That's how love is spelt.
Just the other day, I was talking to our eldest, Chanel, who just acknowledged that.
And she's in her mid-20s now with her own child and husband, like living her life.
She actually just mentioned that she thinks that each of her siblings, including herself, just crave time with you. Because it's almost a novelty. Mum is there all the time. She's in the kitchen. She's, kind of doing all of the running around a lot of the time.
For what it's worth, I get in the kitchen and do some running around as well. But your point is that dads are often less present than mums. Not always, but often less present than mums.
And it just made me think about my experiences as I was growing up and the acknowledgement that spending time with dad was a novelty, but it was also the thing that I longed for the most.
One of our friends, Rob, he passed away, I don't know, like 10, 12 years ago now. I think he'd just reached 50 or he wasn't quite 50. But I remember distinctly, Rob used to make a point of sitting on the couch with nothing to do whenever he could. Like he'd just sit down on the couch in the living room. And it wasn't because he was lazy. It was because he knew that the kids would walk through the living room and see him there and they'd come and sit beside him and start talking. He didn't intrude on them, but he made himself available. And because we're going back that far, phones weren't really an issue. And so the kids they'd walk through the living room and see him and say, "Oh, hey, Dad." And he'd say, "What you up to?" And then come and sit down and he'd have that one-on-one time. He was just so present. I wrote about it in one of my books because I was so impressed with that. Second thing, emotional connection, listening. actively listening, showing interest, asking them about their day, their friends, their interests. I guess that's an extension of what I was talking about with Rob. And the third and final thing that I want to highlight, I mean, we could talk about so many things, outdoor adventures and family traditions and just being involved in their lives and participating in school assemblies and things. But the last thing that I want to highlight kind of brings our podcast full circle, and that is finding opportunities to laugh and have fun. The more I've been thinking about this over the last couple of months, following on from a seminar that I ran where I was asked this question, how do I connect better with my kids? There's all these really sensible answers, but I feel like the best connections happen when we just are enjoying one another's company, when we're laughing, when we're telling bad jokes, when we're wrestling, when we're having fun, when there's smiles on our faces and we're just fully in the moment, fully present.
I read an article recently and I shared it with you. I can't remember where I read it or even
overload of information,
a lot of all the details.
Yeah.
But I do remember the acknowledgement that the bonding that takes place between a mother and child is that of a nurturing. And as mothers nurture children, you get this massive dose of oxytocin on both sides.
All that bonding.
Yeah. But for dads and kids, it's not the nurturing where they receive that oxytocin boost. It's when they have fun together. It's that energy of coming together and laughing and wrestling. And it's the physicality of that relationship that increases the level of bond.
So as we head towards Father's Day this weekend, for our Australian audience at least, we really hope that there's lots of laughter, there's lots of play, there's lots of bonding, and that you have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for listening to the Happy Families podcast. It's produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. If you'd like more information about how to make your family happier, we've got this really cool newsletter, free advice, evidence-based, reassuring, and pointing you in the right direction to make your family stronger. Sign up for it at happyfamilies.com.au.